What is up, guys? It's Movie Buff Beth, and I'm back again with another video. As many of you know, Barnes & Noble started their semi-annual Criterion sale this last Friday, July 10th. And of course, me and Andrew participate in this sale. We absolutely love it. We've already spent far too much money. So be on the lookout for a haul video coming up, probably the beginning of next week, because I'm waiting on a few titles to come in the mail. But then we'll also go back probably throughout the month a few more times and pick up a few more titles. We always have a ton of fun with it. Criterion just puts out fantastic movies that we otherwise probably would have never heard of. So it's really fun for the both of us. And I really encouraged Andrew this time to make a list, because he is always like super overwhelmed when we go into Barnes & Noble and he's like, I don't know what I want. But this time he made a list and he came out with everything he wanted. I came out with most of what I wanted. It was a ton of fun. So be on the lookout for that haul video coming up next week. I'm also going to do a complete Criterion Collection video, probably after the sale is over, so first week or so of August, so keep an eye out for that. But today I wanted to share some recommendations for you guys. I kind of just came in here a few minutes ago, gave a quick scan to my collection and pulled out some of my favorites. Of course, there's plenty more that I could probably recommend. There's tons of great titles put out by the Criterion Collection, and I will delve into all of the ones that I own in that video next month. But for now, I just pulled out a few that I, just really caught my eye right now that I want to share with you guys. I tried to pick a few that are less talked about, but I also just picked some of my absolute favorites that are probably talked about a bit more. Well, let me know if you guys have picked up anything from the sale so far, or if you're planning on doing so. I love watching Criterion hunting videos. Unfortunately, I'm not really good at that, at going into the store and filming. It gives me like severe social anxiety. But I will show you guys everything we picked up next week. And I'm very interested to see what you guys are picking up. Also, let me know what your favorite release from the Criterion Collection is. We'll go ahead and dive in. I'm going to start with kind of an easy title to go over, just because this is a relatively well-known film, but that is Boyhood, Richard Linklater's masterpiece, dare I say. I know not everyone likes this movie, however, I just absolutely love this film. The fact that he took, his cast and the story and actually filmed it in like real time, it's just a very Richard Linklater-esque thing to do, kind of similar to what he did with the Before trilogy. It's very cool, but there's so much more to this film than just, the way it was shot and the way it was filmed over several years. For those of you that don't know, it follows a young boy from boyhood all the way to when he goes to college. And it actually follows the actor in real time. I can't remember how many years it was between shoots, but every few years they would come back together, the whole cast and crew, and film a little bit more of the movie. This movie clocks in at 165 minutes, so it's kind of long, but not terribly long. Andrew and I saw this in theaters. I think it was back when we were dating, shortly before we got married, and we both loved it. There's not a super evident plot in the film, and I think that may be the reason that some people don't enjoy it very much. But for me, it kind of just added to the experience. Like, you're just living this life with this young boy and seeing how life kind of unfolds. And it's just a really incredible experience, really great film to watch. And then this release from Criterion is of course fantastic. I won't go through all the special features, but as always, it's stacked and it's just a great film. Definitely recommend Boyhood. All right, the next one. This one I don't hear talked about very often. In fact, I had never even heard of it before the Criterion Collection released it, and that is I Want to Hold Your Hand. This one is directed by Robert Zemeckis, and again, it was one I never heard of. Me and Andrew just bought it kind of on a whim. This movie is just a ton of fun. It follows a group of teenagers that are after the Beatles, and they want to see them appear on the Ed Sullivan Show. It kind of just follows their wacky adventures leading up to meeting the Beatles. And again, it's just really charismatic, really fun, very underrated film from Robert Zemeckis. I definitely recommend checking this one out if you just want a feel-good, fun film from the Criterion Collection. This is probably one that a lot of people will recommend to you if you're asking about the Criterion Collection. It's a film from 1991, directed by Jonathan Demme, The Silence of the Lambs. This is absolutely, hands down, one of my favorite films of all time. Just the direction, the performances, everything about this film is just fantastic to me. And I'm sure many of you, or not all of you, know what this film is about, but I just wanted to make mention that this Criterion edition is well worth your money. It's a beautiful package, great supplements, definitely one that you guys should check out. This is another one that I haven't heard a lot of people make mention of, and that is Certain Women. This is directed by Kelly Reichardt. I'm probably saying that wrong, but she just had a new film come out from A24 called First Cow. This film, it's very much about the understated performance, about, you know, just life and these characters and living in their world. And I really enjoy films like that. You know, they don't have to be super over the top stories or super over the top characters for me to be interested in them. And just some really fantastic performances in this one. It stars Laura Dern, Kristen Stewart, Michelle Williams, and Lily Gladstone, and they're all just, you know, top notch here. Really enjoyed this film, definitely recommend this one as well. Now, this is a movie that I've only watched one time. Admittedly, I definitely need to go back and watch it again, but it left a huge mark on me, and that is, I hope I say this correct, Y Tu Mama Tambien. This is directed by Alfonso Cuarón, probably saying that wrong as well, who of course directed Gravity. This is one of his Spanish films, but this is another great movie where you just get to live in the world with the characters. It's kind of a road movie, and it's just very, very good, very great performances. Another one that I would highly recommend you guys pick up if you get the chance. I actually have another Richard Linklater film here. I didn't do this on purpose actually, but that is Dazed and Confused. This is one of the first Criterion Collection pickups that I ever got. And, you know, it's a very accessible film. You got Matthew McConaughey in his first film role. You know, it's just a great, like, coming of age, hang out with these awesome characters films. Again, I really just like character-based films where you just live in the world with them. And I think that's kind of been a theme with these movies that I've picked. But Dazed and Confused is an absolute classic from Richard Linklater. And again, it's a very accessible film, one that, you know, anyone could really sit down and enjoy. And some great, awesome packaging from Criterion as well. I'm gonna go ahead and shift gears a little bit here. This is a Japanese film from 1977, and it's called House. Just watched this one for the first time recently. I still don't think I understood what happened in the film, but I very much enjoyed it. It's very out there, very weird, but very enjoyable. If you want a horror film that is just not run-of-the-mill at all, that's kind of confusing but really fun to watch, I definitely recommend this one. Got just a few more to show you guys. This one gets talked about a lot, and deservedly so. That is Paris, Texas. Again, this is another film where you're just living in the world with the characters and you just absolutely enjoy it. Harry Dean Stanton is fantastic in this film. Has some beautiful cinematography, just a really emotionally gripping and incredible film that I highly recommend you guys pick up. Alright, I've got two more to share with you guys. Real quick before I do those though, I do want to make mention I really enjoy all of these box sets that are up here, so if you're considering picking up a box set, I could easily recommend any of these to you, although the Before trilogy is probably my favorite. Again, I love Richard Linklater, he does a great job, and that's a great trilogy to check out. But these last two I could easily say are just two of my absolute favorite films. From two of my absolute favorite directors. So even if they weren't put out by Criterion, I would still recommend the films 100%. The first one is Brian De Palma's Blowout. Whenever people are asking for film recommendations, this is one of the first ones that comes to mind. I just absolutely love this film. It stars John Travolta and Nancy Allen. Kind of a crime thriller mystery, but just a really incredible plot that, you know, had me engaged from beginning to end, and great performances as well. And if you've never seen a Brian De Palma film for some reason, this is a great place to start, although his whole filmography is great. You know, people may refer you more to like Mission Impossible or Scarface, whereas I will say like this one, Carrie, Dress to Kill, he just has a fantastic filmography, especially back in like the 70s and 80s, but I highly recommend Blowout. And then the last one I'm going to go over with you guys is a Noah Baumbach film. I'm extremely excited they're releasing Marriage Story in a couple weeks here. Definitely going to pick that up. In fact, I think it's next Tuesday that it comes out. But I've always been a big fan of Noah Baumbach. I've been here for every single movie that he's made, and he just does a great job. But the one I'm going to recommend today is Frances Ha, starring Greta Gerwig. This movie, it's one of my go-tos when I just need a feel-good, uplifting film. You know, you follow Frances around and you could just relate to her so much. I feel like everybody could kind of find a trait in Frances. She's not a terribly, like she's a flawed character, but she's incredibly likable. And Noah Baumbach does a great job of that. And even if the characters aren't incredibly likable, they're always interesting in his films. And Greta Gerwig is great in this film. It's actually shot in black and white, which is kind of unique for a film from 2013. But again, just a great, uplifting, feel-good film that I highly recommend you guys pick up from the Criterion Collection. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. Please comment below with what you're going to pick up from the Criterion sale, and also let me know what your favorite Criterion titles are. I'm absolutely interested in hearing. We've got some more videos coming out for you guys soon. Sorry for the short hiatus. I kind of discussed what happened there in our most recent haul video, if you guys want to check that out. But I want to thank you guys for all the support. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell to hear when we upload new videos, and we will see you next time.